my name is Susie. I'm with Yoga for Change and Bella Prana. Just in a couple of minutes, we're going to get started. This is the 12:30 Yoga for Veterans community class that happens every Sunday, normally at Bella Prana. So start getting yourself and your seat organized. I know that since we're all practicing at home, sometimes like you don't have access to bolsters or blocks or blankets that you normally have at the studio. So I just grabbed a couple throw pillows off of my couch and like a normal blanket that I have at home. So I'll be using these today. So you can grab any pillows from your own couch or even like your bed pillow. Just grab anything that you have handy. It doesn't have to be a normal yoga prop. And we will get started in just a minute. Okay, I think we're good to go as far as setup. So we're gonna start in a reclined fish posture. So again, find a pillow, a bed pillow, couch pillow, anything that you have, and go ahead and start to kind of make your seat. So if you're using two pillows like me, you can just place them right next to each other. If you have like a bed pillow or two, you can just place two on top of each other to give yourself a little bit more height. And then come to your seat, and you're gonna place your sacrum right against the edge of your pillow. Let your legs come out bent to start, and then just slowly start to recline back over your pillows. Your hands can come down by your sides, palms face up, and then you can try extending your legs out long. And if this feels good in your body and your lower back, then great, stay here. If it feels like there's too much pressure in your lumbar area, then bend your knees back. The other option that you can choose is to bring your legs to kind of like a crisscross applesauce by lying down, and this will start to open up your hips a little bit. So any of those options are great, or if you know something else, that will work too. And then just start to lengthen out your breath. Take long, slow breaths in through your nose. And then equally long breaths also through your nose. And start to allow any thoughts or distractions to simply float away. We're in a time right now where there's so much fear and anxiety and uncertainty. And so there's a lot of scattered energy and even negative energy that's really become part of our lives over these last couple weeks. So see if you can start to acknowledge that and then allow those thoughts to pass by. In today's practice, we're going to be focusing on the theme of gratitude. Just because with so much uncertainty around us, focusing on the things that are going on that are positive and still good can be really helpful. So as you're allowing those nervous thoughts, those scattered thoughts to just float by and move on, see if you can also begin to cultivate some thoughts of gratitude. Can you identify 1 to 3 things so far today that have made you smile, or that have brightened your day a bit, or that you feel positive about or happy about? Take 5 more breaths here. And see if you can keep pulling in those things. 3 more. 2 more. Long, slow, deep breath in through your nose. And exhale out, either through your nose or your mouth, whatever feels better for you today. And last breath in. Exhale out. On your next inhale, we're gonna move all the way onto your mat. So you can sit up and kind of move your pillows out of the way, or you can just roll over onto one side and then kind of bring them out of the way. And then once you've done that, go ahead and come all the way back to your back. And then lay flat with your palms face up and just start to notice how your body feels different being completely flat on the earth. We'll take 3 breaths here. And if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, go ahead and do that now. It can be the intention of gratitude, or it can be something totally different. 1 more inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, start to pull your right leg in towards your chest. Give it a little squeeze. And then take your hands, interlace them around the back of your right leg. It can be at your thigh or your knee. And stretch out your leg long, pressing the sole of your foot up towards the ceiling. So really pull your toes back towards your face. Your left leg can be all the way straight. If you get here and this doesn't feel good in your lower back, again, just bend your knee and bring your left foot to the earth too. And start to invite in some movement through your foot. So on an inhale, point your toes straight up to the ceiling. And then on an exhale, pull them back. Inhale, point. And exhale, pull back. 2 more times, moving in your own rhythm with your own breath. 1 more inhale. Exhale. On an inhale, start to pull your knee into your chest again. And this time, begin to make circles through your right ankle. So choose a direction and go that way a couple times. And then switch, go the opposite way. And you can continue doing that, or you can begin to make circles with your leg. So using your right hand, you can pull your knee into your chest and then out and around, making big circular motions. And then switch the other way, go the opposite direction. I'm using my left hand kind of as a reference and a support on my left hip, just to keep my hips stabilized on the ground. So you can do that too, or not. And then come back to center. We'll take a gentle supine twist. So allow your right knee to come all the way across. And I'm actually going to move a pillow over to the other side so that my knee can rest on it. So sometimes that can feel good if your knee doesn't quite make it to the ground. Now it's not suspended in air. It has something to rest on. Be sure to press your right shoulder all the way back to the earth. And your head can stay looking straight above you at the ceiling, or you can look over your right shoulder. And if that doesn't feel good in your neck, just go ahead and shift your eye gaze back straight up. We'll take 1 more breath here. Exhale. And on an inhale, come back to center. And then open up to a supine tree. So let your right knee come all the way out to the right side. And again, you can use your left hand as reference and press down on your left hip bone. Or you can extend your arms straight behind you. Sometimes this can feel good, getting like a full body stretch here, but in a tree variation on the ground. Take 1 more breath. Exhale. exhale. And on an inhale, draw everything back into your chest. So start with your right leg, pull it in, and then just gently switch it out. Bring your left knee up and extend your right leg down. Again, you can keep your right foot on the ground, or you can go all the way straight with your right leg. Just depends, whatever feels better for you. And then find an interlace behind your left leg. It can be behind your knee or a little bit lower, down at your thigh, and straighten your left leg as much as you can. It's hard to tell in these pants, but my knee is actually bent quite a lot because my hamstrings are very tight on this side. So if your knee is bent a lot too, that's totally okay. Whether your knee is bent or straight, try to flex your left toes and pull them all the way down so the sole of your foot is flat, like it's walking on the ceiling. And if your leg is shaking a lot, just bend your knee a little bit more. And we'll start to move with breath. So on an inhale, point your left toes, and then exhale, pull them back. Inhale to point, and exhale to pull back. And continue doing that a couple times with your own breath. We'll do 2 more. One more. Inhale to point, and exhale to pull back. And then on an inhale, draw your left knee into your chest and start to circle out your left ankle. And be present to differences from side to side in your body. It's very normal for our sides to be asymmetrical. And so just notice, there's really nothing to do, switch directions, nothing to do with what you find, but just the act of noticing helps to create a sense of presence and mindfulness in the moment and in your body. And you can stay here just moving your ankle or begin to move your whole leg. With your left hand, draw your knee closer towards your chest and then circle it out and around. Your right hand can be wherever feels good for you. Mine is supporting by pressing my right hip down to the ground. And then start to switch directions. Go the opposite way. And then come to stillness. Squeeze your right leg back into your chest and take any movement here that you need. Give yourself a little bit of freedom here to find any expressions that feel good in your body. So you can rock and roll a little side to side. You could draw your knees out towards your outer rib cage. You could curl into a tight little ball, pulling your nose all the way up to your knees. Or if there's anything else that you know that feels good in your body, you've got 2 more breaths. One more. Exhale. And on an inhale, we're going to roll up to seated. So you can just roll up. If that's not possible or doesn't feel great, then bring your feet back to the ground, roll onto one side, and just press yourself up. And we're going to meet in an easy seat. And I'm actually going to flip the other way so that I can see the screen and you guys can see me. We're going to be here just for a couple postures on our seat. So if you know that you like to sit on a lift, you can grab your pillow and just slide it underneath your hips. And that just raises you a little bit off of the ground. It allows for greater extension in your spine, particularly in your lumbar area. If you tend to kind of round there when you're sitting, this will give you more length. And so bring in as much as that length as you can. Press the crown of your head straight up. And then drop your right shoulder to your right ear to start to stretch your neck on the left side. And you can stay just like this, or you can add in a little bit of pressure by taking your right hand and placing it on top of your left ear. And then your left hand can start to walk a little bit out to the side. And so you want to be mindful of how much you're pulling with your hand. You don't want to use a lot of force. You want to more so allow the weight of your hand to add some extra pressure and give you a deeper stretch. But be careful not to like yank down through your neck. And we'll just take one more breath. Exhale. And then an inhale to release and come back to center. Exhale to go the other way. So drop your left ear down. You can stay just like this. This might be exactly where you need to be. Or you can add in a little bit of weight by bringing your left hand up and over to your right ear. And then your right hand can start to walk a little bit out to the side. Notice the position of your shoulders here if you have started to really lean from either side. See if you can keep your hips and shoulders in one line as you're in this stretch. Take one more breath. Exhale. Good, and then release out of that. And on an inhale, reach straight up. If it feels acceptable and accessible in your body, you can interlace your hands and press them straight up and reach towards the ceiling or the sky. Take one more breath. As we exhale, we'll twist. So bring your right hand behind you and your left hand cross body to your knee. Take a big breath in for length. And then exhale to twist. Try twisting from your waistline first, and then your shoulders, and then your head. One more breath here. Exhale. As you inhale, stay in your twist, but just draw your chin back to your left shoulder. Take another breath here. Exhale. And then gently release from the twist. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Exhale, twist the other way. Left hand behind you, right hand to your knee. Take a breath in for length, and then exhale to twist. Again, try twisting from your waistline first, then your shoulders, then your head. One more breath. Exhale. Inhale, stay in the twist, but just shift your gaze back to your right shoulder for one more breath. Exhale. And then inhale to unwind. Reach up. Exhale, fold forward. And so if you're up on a pillow like me, then you might want to move it out of the way. It might still feel good to have it. You decide. I'm going to come off of mine. And then just start to walk your hands out as far as you can go forward. Try to let your fold here happen through your hips, again, not your spine. So if you're rounding through your lower back and that doesn't feel good, if you have some lower back injuries or tension, then try pressing your sternum forward, and that will sort of shift the alignment in your spine. When you get here, you might be able to go all the way down to the ground. This is as far as I go. And so sometimes it can feel nice to take something to rest. So if you have a block, great. But if you don't, just a pillow, and you can rest your forehead on your pillow. And we'll stay here for 3 more breaths. And on your next inhale, start to walk back to center. And then we'll uncross and recross our legs in the opposite way. And so for some of you, this is going to feel noticeably different. For other people, you might not feel that much of a difference. And either way is okay. Again, it's just about noticing and being present to whatever you're feeling today. So inhale, extend, find the length, and exhale, start to fold. And you might notice that you can go further or not as far on this side. Again, you might also just be kind of the same. So either way is okay. Just be present to wherever you are. And we'll stay for 3 breaths. So if you want to bring back in something to rest your head on, go for it. I'm going to use this pillow. Two more breaths. Last breath in. Exhale. Next inhale, come back to center. And we're gonna make our way to tabletop. So you can rock forward onto your hands and knees. I'm gonna come back to the long way on my mat. I grabbed a blanket because sometimes if you have knee sensitivity, this can feel like a lot of pressure on your knees. So take a moment and line your mat up with just something to support your knees if your knees are sensitive too. And then come to hands and knees. Stack your shoulders right above your wrists and your hips right above your knees. On an inhale, bring your right leg straight back behind you. And so you can press through your toe pads and the little pad of your foot and start to press your weight back. And as you do this, you might feel the stretch in your hamstrings or in your calf. But just keep pressing your weight back by pushing into your palms. And you're welcome to stay just like this. Something else you can try, which will just change the stretch a little bit, is to press up through your belly button, like you're trying to pull your belly button up to the ceiling, and you'll come into like a three-legged dog, but with your left knee curled in, and then really press down through your right heel, and you'll feel a stretch again through your hamstrings or your calf or somewhere along your right leg, and you might feel it other places too. And that's also okay. And then if you're up and lifted, slowly begin to make your way back down. If you're rocked back, come to a neutral spine, and then lift your right foot all the way off the ground, let it hover. And so you might be closer to the ground, or you might be all the way up. It doesn't really matter how much your leg is lifted. You can also just leave a toe on the ground for support. So just take a moment, assess whatever feels good in your body or feels the best in your body right now. And then we'll add in a little bit more balance by reaching your left arm straight out in front of you. And if you feel really wobbly here, go ahead and lower your right toes to the ground completely. And just kind of feel where your balance is. Take a full breath. You can stay, or as you exhale, you can curl in elbow to knee. And we'll do that 2 times. So feel free to hold and stay the whole time, or move with breath and draw in elbow to knee. And 1 more if you're moving, extend out, and exhale, draw in elbow to knee. Inhale to extend the last time, and exhale to bring everything to the earth. Take a couple breaths, shake it out. Any movement that you need, you'll take 3 breaths. I'm gonna grab some water, so if you need water, this is a good water break too. 1 more inhale, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Exhale, come back to tabletop. And then we'll go to the other side. So ground through your palms, spread your fingers apart really wide. And as you inhale next, send your left leg back. Press your toe pads into the earth and start to rock your weight back, stretching through your left leg. Same options as before. You can stay just like this, or you can add another layer into it by pulling up through your belly button to lift all the way into a 3-legged dog with your right leg, your right knee pressed in. And so if you're lifted, really push back through your left heel towards the ground. Take another breath wherever you are. Exhale, come back to the earth if you're lifted, and if you're pressed back, just stay for 1 more breath. And on an inhale, we'll all meet with shoulders right above your wrists. And then send your left leg straight up into the sky. Again, it's totally okay how much it's lifted. You might just have a toe on the ground. So it might be a little, it might be a lot, it doesn't matter. See what you can do today and be okay with whatever it is that you can do today. And then we'll add in by reaching your right arm straight out in front of you. It's really helpful here to have your eye gaze down towards the inside of your left hand, and that keeps your spine in alignment, and it also just helps your balance. So if you're struggling, try looking down and see if that's helpful. We'll move with breath if you'd like. If not, just stay here, continuing to balance. Inhale and exhale to pull in. Inhale to extend. Exhale to pull in. 2 more times if you're moving. If not, you can stay in the balance. 1 more inhale. Exhale to pull in. Last time, straighten out, reach, extend as much as you can, and then bring it back to the earth. Take a couple more breaths to move in any way that feels good in your body. Let your own breath and your own body be the guide here. So there's no right, wrong way to move. We're gonna meet in downward facing dog. So when you're ready, press through your palms and lift all the way up. And if you had a blanket, you can kind of just move it out of the way. And then start to, again, move here in any way that feels good in your body. You can bend one knee at a time. You can bend the opposite knee and stretch back through your heels. If downward facing dog does not feel good in your body, then you can just come back to tabletop. The other option as we move through our practice today is to come into a child's posture instead, or whenever you need rest or just want to come back to your breath. And so child's posture, if you're unfamiliar, is you'll just bring your hips back to your heels and press your forehead to the earth. So it's always an option. So from downward facing dog, begin to walk your feet up to your hands. You can get there in one big step or jump, or you can take several little steps to get there. We're gonna meet in a forward fold. And so forward folds are meant to release your lower back. However, if you've had a brain injury, or if you have high blood pressure, or just if this makes you feel dizzy, then come to a halfway lift and stay here instead. And something that I like to do to get the release and the length in my spine is I'll take my hands and press them into my hip creases and really push back. And so this will help get that same release that you would be going for if you were all the way in a forward fold. So you kind of get the same benefit. Well, not kind of, you do get the same benefit, just feels a little bit different. So whether you're like this in a halfway lift or all the way down in a forward fold, we'll take just 1 more breath. Exhale. And on an inhale, reach all the way up, come to standing, extended mountains. Reach your arms all the way up. Take your right hand, grab onto your left wrist. As you inhale, pull your left shoulder up. And as you exhale, hinge over. Really ground through both feet. So the 4 corners of both feet, press them firmly into the earth and push out through your left rib cage. Take 1 more breath. Exhale. Good. Inhale, come back to center. And switch sides. Take your left hand, reach for your right wrist. Take a breath in, and exhale, hinge over. Continue pressing through your feet. Push your right rib cage out. And your eye gaze can be wherever feels comfortable for your neck. You can look straight ahead or up towards the ceiling. 1 more breath. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Come all the way back to center. Exhale, fold forward. Again, you can stop halfway if that's better for you. Halfway lift, so if you're already there, great. And then exhale, we'll step to downward facing dog. If you know the flow and you want to flow through, go for it. If not, we'll just head straight to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, step your right foot forward for warrior one. So right foot comes to 12 o'clock. Back foot dials down about 45 degrees. So your left toes are pointing towards the left corner of your room or your mat. And then inhale your arms up. Exhale, bend into your right knee. So you've got a couple breaths here to explore this posture and find a variation of it that you're comfortable in, that you can breathe in. And again, there's really no end goal in mind of what this pose should look like. It's really about what it feels like. So be curious and explore what it feels like to maybe walk your foot forward a little bit more or press down through your back heel. And just be content with whatever it is that you look like today. Take one more breath. As we exhale, we'll open to warrior two. So pivot your back foot. I kind of have to take a half step back with mine. And then open your arms. Take your eye gaze over your right fingertips. And then draw your right knee over your pinky toe edge. Use your breath. And be curious and explore different variations of this posture. So maybe you step your foot forward a little bit more, or maybe you have to pull back. If your knee goes past your toes though, then definitely step your foot forward a bit. We'll take one more inhale for length. And exhale to move extended side angle. Bring your right forearm to your knee, palm face up, and then reach your left hand up and back like you're reaching straight up for the ceiling. And try to pull your left shoulder back as much as you can to feel that opening. If you know another variation of the shape and you want to come a little bit closer to the earth by bringing your hand down to the ground, go for it. We've got two more breaths. One more inhale. Exhale. Inhale to rise back to warrior two. Flip your right palm, take a reverse. You can stay just like this or straighten your leg and come into reverse triangle, totally up to you. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down, step back to down dog. Again, if you know the flow and you want to flow through, feel free. From down dog, take a big breath in and open your mouth, exhale. On your next breath in, step your left foot forward, warrior one. And trust yourself to find the variation of this posture that you like the most on this side. It might be different from your right side, and that's okay. Mine is very different, especially today. I can feel a big difference in my hips. So just take note of how you feel. And can you be totally at peace with your warrior one on this side right now, no matter what it looks like? And take one more inhale. Exhale, warrior two, open up. So again, move your feet if you need to. Peek down and see if you can draw a straight line from your front heel to your back middle arch. And then draw your shoulder blades together in towards your spine. Shift your gaze over your front middle finger. Use your breath to explore this posture. So with each inhale, get a little taller. And as you exhale, maybe settle a little bit further into the shape. You might be exactly where you need to be, or you might still be exploring. We'll take one more inhale. Exhale to move, extended side angle. Draw your left forearm down, palm face up, and then pull your right arm straight up so you're opening up your shoulder. You can look up at your fingers, or you can look straight ahead. If you feel wobbly, looking down for balance can be helpful, but that will tend to pull your right shoulder with you. So that's okay, but just be aware of what's happening in your body and see if you can create the most opening possible for you. That might look very different than someone else. If you're practicing with a friend, it might look different than me. And so can you be, again, content with whatever your shape looks like? One more breath. Exhale. And inhale to come back up, warrior two. Take a reverse. You can straighten your leg or keep it bent. Mine is straight. And exhale to come to down dog. So take the flow or just step straight back. Totally up to you. On your next inhale, make your way to the top. So you can jump or walk or take a couple steps there. When you get there, come all the way up to standing, extended mountain. Exhale, hands together at your heart. We're going to do a little bit of balance. So I'm going to turn this way. Practicing at home is really great, actually. I'm going to use a chair because you have so many things that you don't always have at studios, like very accessible. So if you tend to be wobbly, and I am wobbly today, then grab a chair or go to a wall. It really doesn't matter, but give yourself something to support. It's kind of a bonus that you get to use extra props at home, so take advantage of it. And we're going to come to tree on the right side. So you can bring the sole of your right foot anywhere but your knee. You can be down on the ground. You can come up to your calf. You can come all the way up to your thigh. Or you can come kind of to a half lotus shape, making a figure four called bonsai. So whatever is the most comfortable for you. And then you can hold on. You can bring your hands to your heart. Or you can grow tall. Totally up to you. So whichever variation you want to be in, then find that, and we'll take 3 more breaths. And if you fall out, that's okay. See if you can firm up through your foundation, your feet first, and come right back in. We have 1 more breath. Exhale. And release this side. And we'll go to the other side. Tree on the left. So ground through your right foot and bring the sole of your left foot in. You can be ankle, shin, inner thigh, or I'm going to do this one because my foot just slips a lot. The bonsai or the figure four variation. And so grow tall through your spine, really lengthen out. And your hands can be wherever they feel good. Heart center, up high, or holding on to your chair or your wall. And we'll take 3 more breaths. You've got this. Stay with it. 2. Last breath in. Exhale. Good. And then come back to center. You can move something out of the way if you need to. And we'll come just back to the top of our mats. Come to mountain. So ground through the 4 corners of your feet. Pull your inner ankles back, your outer ankles down. Bring your palms face forward. Lift your chest up, but tuck your chin slightly. And come back to your intention that you set for your practice. And try to add at least 1 more thing that you're grateful for today to your list that you started at the very beginning of your practice. And it could be just that you're doing yoga right now. In this moment, you showed up to your mat. You're taking care of yourself. 1 more breath. Exhale. We're going to make our way back to the ground. So you can get there however you want. Come all the way onto your back. Grab a pillow if you don't already have one handy, because we're going to use, you just need something. It can be anything. Something to add a little bit of elevation. And so come all the way down on your back. Bend your knees. On an inhale, lift your hips straight up to the sky and slide a pillow or a folded up blanket or whatever you have back underneath. And so this is supported bridge. This can be a really great place to stay. So I'll invite you to do that the whole time. We'll be here for about a minute or so. And so one of the things you can do if you're staying on your block is you can play with straightening out your legs. I would suggest one at a time because this can be a lot on the lumbar spine. So one at a time if you're trying, and then maybe you'll get to two, maybe not. The other thing you can do if you have a lot of energy and you want to move a little bit more is you can come into an unsupported bridge by pressing your feet down into your mat and lifting your hips off of your pillow or your blanket or whatever you're using, and then keeping your hips suspended in mid-air. So we'll be here for 5 more breaths, and so you can choose if you want to stay lifted or come back down to support, whatever it is that you need. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one. Exhale. If you're lifted, on your next breath out, make your way back to your pillow or your blanket if you haven't already done so. And then we're going to move into an inversion from here. So start to just lift your legs straight up to the sky. So this is called waterfall. Typically we do it with a block if you're in a studio setting, and so if you have blocks at home you can do a block again instead, but pillows actually feel pretty good. And so you just hang out here, let your palms face up, and notice the position of your legs and your feet. So there's a tendency and a habit here to let the feet come all the way forward right over your face, and so notice if that's you. And if it is, no worries, but start to see if you can press your feet forward a little bit so they line up right over your hips, and then let them stay here. You guys can probably see my knees are bent quite a bit, and so that might be you. I have a really tight hamstring, so if you do too, it's okay. Bend your knees as much as you need to, but keep your feet flexed and active. And we'll stay here for 5 more breaths. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last breath in. Last breath out. And start to lower your feet all the way down to the ground. Press through your feet, lift your hips up, and remove your pillow or blanket or block or whatever you're using out of the way, and come back down to the ground. And then pull your knees in towards your chest. Again, we'll be here for a few breaths, so option to move around a little bit side to side, option to curl into a ball, or anything else that you want to do that feels good in your body. And then release your knees, bring your feet back to the earth. Plant your feet about hips-width distance apart, and cross your right ankle over your left. And start to draw up your leg over your knee to open into a figure 4 shape. We're moving into reclined pigeon. So if you know this and you know where you want to go, go for it. If you're not sure, start by pressing your right leg away from you so you can reach for the inside of your right knee or your thigh, and just start to push towards the back of your mat. And then this might be exactly where you stay. If you're not feeling much and you want to feel a little bit more of a stretch, then you can interlace your hands around your left thigh and draw that in towards your chest. And notice if you lifted up to do that, if you pulled your shoulders and your head up. If you did, no worries, but see if you can put them back down. And if it's not accessible to keep the interlace with your head and shoulders on the ground, then bring your foot back to the earth and just keep pressing your right knee away from you. So there's no right or wrong way to be here. And so can you return to the present and be okay with whatever it is that you look like in this shape. We'll take 3 more breaths. Two more. Last one in. Exhale. And start to come out of the shape. Bring both feet back to the ground. And then start to windshield wiper your knees side to side. Just kind of releasing a little bit through your lower back. And then we'll come back to center and do the same thing on the other side. So bring your feet to the earth, knees bent. Bring your left ankle over your right, and then start to bring it up the length of your leg over your knee and open up into a figure 4 shape. So having the advantage of knowing your options and where you could potentially go, start to move into whatever variation feels the best in your body on this side. So for me on this side, it's just right here, pressing my left leg away towards the back of my mat. You might want to interlace your hands around your right thigh and draw in. But again, if you're doing that, make sure you keep your head and your shoulders firmly planted on your mat. And you've got 5 more breaths. And can you start to notice the space within your body that you have already created just within the last 45 to 50 minutes? And can you be present for that space and grateful for that space? 2 more breaths. Start to bring your left leg back to the earth. And windshield wiper your knees side to side. And then come back to center, but take your feet out really wide. So bring them to the outer edges of your mat, that place where the edge of your mat meets the ground. So your feet are right on that line. And then keeping your feet exactly where they are, let both knees fall over to the right. And so this will pull you into a different variation of a hip stretch. So it's still stretching your hips, but getting at them from kind of a different angle. Make sure your feet stay where they were. If they moved, no worries. Just bring your knees back up, readjust your feet, and then try it again. This might be exactly where you stay. If you're here and you're not feeling a lot, what you can do is bring your right foot on top of your left knee. And so if you do this, look kind of up and then wiggle your left foot out so that you have a straight line from your hip bone to your knee joint. And then I like to use something underneath my right knee for support. So I'm going to move my pillow, bring it under my right knee, and then lay everything back down to the ground. So press your shoulders and your head back down to the ground. And then your right knee can rest on your pillow. And the weight of your right leg will press down through your left side, and you'll get a little bit more of a stretch. This can be not comfortable for your left knee though. So if you try this and it hurts your left knee, no, don't do it. Come right back out. So everybody's different. All of our anatomy is not quite the same. So if it doesn't feel good for you, then be mindful of that, honor that, and just come out. And you can stay in this shape with both feet on the ground. And you'll still get exactly the same benefits. And so we'll take 3 more breaths. On an inhale, slowly start to come out of the shape. If your right knee is on your left, then gently begin to remove it. And take whatever counter shape here feels good for you. You can do the windshield wiper side to side, or you might want to straighten out your legs and kind of wiggle them out, or take a full body stretch. Whatever you need to counter. And then we'll go to the other side. So if you know you used a pillow, go ahead and just move it on over. Bend your knees. Take your feet to the outer edges of your mat and start to let both knees fall over to the left side. This might be exactly where you stay. This side might be different, it might be the same, who knows? So take note of how you feel, and if you want to layer in a little bit more because you're not feeling enough, then bring your left foot to your right knee. And how much you feel and where you go in this shape really is just determined by your anatomy and nothing else. So it's just the way that your bones, your hip bones connect, your femur bones connect into your hip socket. So it doesn't really have much to do with how much you stretch. It's just your anatomy. So take note of that and be mindful of it. And see if you can relax any tension as we're starting to come into the final moments of our practice before moving into final rest. So see if you can slow down your inhales and your exhales even more. We'll take 3 more breaths. One more inhale. One more exhale. Next inhale, start to come out of the shape, moving slowly, moving carefully, and do anything that you need to counter. So full body stretch, windshield wiper your knees from side to side, any last movements that you need. We're going to be moving into our final rest from here. And we're going to end with a guided meditation. So if you want to come back to a supported shape, either using the bolsters behind your back for the supported fish like we started, or you could use them underneath your knees as you lay flat on your back. So it's really up to you, however you want to be in your final resting shape. I'm actually going to stay seated because I'm going to guide you through a meditation and I want to make sure my voice is clear. So I'll give you 2 more breaths to settle in, however you want to be for final rest. And start to bring your awareness to your feet. Start to notice your toes. Any sensations that you might be feeling. You might have a tingling sensation. You might not have much feeling at all. And that's okay. Just notice whatever that is. Again, without judgment or trying to fix it, but just becoming aware. And then start to let your awareness travel up your feet through your arches. See if you can expand your arches. Notice your heels. Let your awareness travel up to your shins and your calves. And see if you can release any tension that you might be holding in those muscles. And let your awareness move up to your knees. And notice the way you're holding your knee joints. Are they locked completely out? Is there any softness, fluidity, water that you could bring into your knee joints? And then notice your thighs, your quadriceps. Bring your awareness up there. These are the strongest muscles in your body, and they do so much work supporting and carrying you around all day. So take a moment and send some gratitude to your legs, to these muscles. See if you can soften. And then bring your awareness up to your hips, a place where we hold a lot of tension. Can you be aware of any additional space, particularly in this area that you created throughout your practice, especially the last two postures that we ended with? And then let your awareness travel up your spine. As you breathe in, can you get a little bit taller? Can you feel the space between each vertebrae getting a little bit bigger? Bring your awareness to your rib cage. As you fill up with air, feel it expand. And notice it contract as you breathe out. This time, feel your lungs expand as you breathe in. Contract as you breathe out. And then notice your shoulders. Another place where we hold so much tension. Is there any softness that you can bring in here? Anything that you can release? Bring your awareness up to your jaw. And notice if you're clenching the back of your jaw or if your tongue is pressed against the roof of your mouth. Can you release your tongue to the lower palate, to your lower palate, and find the softness through the muscles of your cheeks? And then lastly, bring your awareness to the space between your brow. Notice if it's furrowed. Can you relax it? And for these last few moments of our practice, I will quiet my voice. Can you let your awareness land simply with your breath? Continue to let any thoughts and distractions float by. And come back to that list of things you're grateful for today that you've cultivated throughout the last 60 minutes. And start to bring your awareness back to your body. Invite in some gentle movements through your fingers and your toes. Begin to deepen your breath if you haven't already. And slowly make your way onto your right or left side for fetal posture. This shape symbolizes the idea of getting to start over with a clean slate. So take a moment to come back to your intention one last time. Perhaps set a new one for the rest of your day, the rest of your week. And add one more thing to that list of things you're grateful for. It could be just that you finished a practice, that you did the whole thing, that you stayed present. Take a big breath in, a big breath out, and come all the way back to your seat. And we'll seal our practice, close it out officially with one final clearing and cleansing breath together. So you can bring your hands to your heart center, which is the international symbol of gratitude, or you can just let your hands rest comfortably. Empty out your lungs completely, and then fill them all the way up. Open your mouth, exhale. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, my name is Susie, and I'm with Yoga for Change. This class is a donation-based class that happens at Bella Prana every Sunday from 12:30 to 1:30. It's usually taught by Forrest Fall, who is another Yoga for Change teacher, but I'm happy to be subbing in for him today. So if you are able to make a donation, we would be very grateful for those. You can still donate to Yoga for Change through our Venmo page, which is at yoga-change. You can also just Google us, yoga for the number 4 change, and find us on Facebook or on our website. And so we're a nonprofit. We work with 4 populations: veterans, individuals in recovery, individuals who are incarcerated, and youth. So thank you for your support. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for showing up and still staying present for your practice. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.